Hello students, welcome once again. Students, we are done with chapter Basic Terms of Accounting, and that chapter was very important. Please read that chapter thoroughly. Today we'll be focusing on the third chapter as per T.S. Garewal, that is Theory Base of Accounting, Accounting Standards and International Financial Reporting Standards. So before starting that chapter, let me tell you, accounting is a language of business. And if you talk about the grammars and for this language, that is just like principle for accounting. So principles of accounting are very important, right? Accounting principle, concepts and convention, they are commonly known as generally accepted accounting principles. So you can also say it is known as GAAPs, right? These are guidelines to prepare financial statements. These are guidelines to prepare financial statements in accounting. What is financial statements? Say trading and P&L account, as well as balance sheet. So they serve as the guidelines to prepare the financial statements. I am repeating the definition of accounting standards once again. What the accounting standard is: accounting standards can be defined as the guidelines which help in preparing the financial statement. Accounting principles, concepts and convention, they are commonly known as generally accepted accounting principles. Right? Now we are coming toward the definition of accounting principles. Definition of accounting principle is like that. Accounting principles are the rules of action or conduct adopted by accountants universally while recording the accounting transaction. So, accounting principles are the rules of action. These are the rules of action, or these are the conduct which is adopted by the accountant universally to record the financial transaction. Alright, for making it understand, let me tell you, if you discuss on it, then there are two categories of the accounting standard. The first one is accounting concepts. The first one is accounting concept, and the second one is accounting convention. The second one is accounting conventions. What are these? These are two categories of principles. Two categories of principles. What are those two categories? Accounting concepts and accounting conventions. Right? Okay. Now one by one we'll discuss those categories. What the accounting concept is. What the accounting concept is. See, accounting concepts are the basic assumptions. These are the basic assumptions within which accounting operates. These are basic assumptions within which accounting operates. If you talk about basic assumptions, right, there are three basic assumptions of the accounting system. What are those three basic assumptions? It is a going concern entity, it is consistency assumption, the rest one is accrual assumptions. We'll discuss on that. For the time being, it contains basic assumptions within which accounting operates. That is accounting concept. Second category of principle is accounting conventions. These are accounting conventions. What accounting convention means? Principles being followed by the enterprises over a period of time. These are principles followed by enterprise over a period of time. That is known as accounting convention, right? So there are two categories of principle: accounting concept and accounting conventions, right? Mind it, if you talk about convention, the convention may undergo a change over a period of time, right? uh, then we are coming directly on those concepts which is known as accounting assumptions. So what are the fundamental accounting assumptions? As I told you, there are three accounting assumptions. First one is going concern assumption. What going concern assumption is? Please pay attention toward it. It is assumed that business shall continue for foreseeable period and there is no intention to close the business. So business is perpetual entity. Business is perpetual entity which goes for foreseeable period. Foreseeable period. So business is what? Business is going concern entity which will never stop or which will never close, right? Because of that principle, we normally say there are two types of expenditure. The one is capital expenditure. The another one is, say, revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure are those expenditure the benefit of which exhausted within accounting period. Capital expenditure are those expenditure the benefit of which normally go for a more than 1 year, right? Because business is never closed up. That is the reason we normally say there are two types of expenditure: capital and revenue. Otherwise, there is only one expenditure, that is revenue expenditure, because business will close down. I hope you are getting it. Second assumption is that is consistency assumption. As per this assumption, once any accounting practice is followed or adopted, that should be applied consistently year after year. Once any policy is adopted, that should be consistently followed year after year. Example: for depreciation of an asset, we have two major methods. The one is written down value method and one is straight line method. Once I selected straight line method for depreciation, that should be followed even the first year, second year, third year, or fourth year, or year after year. There will be no change. If you will be changing it, then what will happen? Then we can't compare performance of organization with 1 year with the another year, because normally we are not following the same method in that case, right? So that is the way consistency assumption is. I hope it is clear. Third assumption, which is bit tricky, that is accrual assumption. Now what the accrual assumption is? See, this assumption says a transaction is recorded in the books of account at the time when it is entered into and not when the settlement takes place. Transaction is recorded in books of account when entered into, not when settlement take place. So it says that revenue is recognized when it is realized. Revenue is recognized when it is realized. This concept is similar to the revenue recognition concept. We will discuss on that. One concept is revenue recognition concept, that is accounting principle. That will come in that. So what that assumption says, transaction is recorded in books of account when entered into, not when the settlement take place. We'll try to understand this concept with the help of example. Say, Ramesh purchased computers, amount of which is, say, that is 2 lakh rupees, right? And they purchase it on 2nd of February. The payment need to be made on 30th of May. I purchased it on 2nd February, payment need to be made on 30th May. Now, and this transaction should be recorded on which date? It should be recorded on the date of purchase. On the date of purchase, when the transaction is entered into. Settlement will take place on the date of 30th May, but the date of purchase is 2nd of Feb. So it should be recorded in the books of account on 2nd of Feb. That is accrual assumption. So every transaction is recorded when the transaction is entered into, not when the settlement takes place. Similarly, revenue is recognized when it is realized. Revenue is recognized when it is realized, right? Now we are coming on next topic, that is accounting principle. Accounting principles are defined earlier also. Now we are discussing the basic types of it, right? The first type of accounting principle is accounting entity, which is also known as business entity principle. What that principle is? Business is considered to be separate and its owner are separate. So business is considered separate from their owners. Owner is different, business is different. All the transaction which will be recorded in the books of account, that will be from the owner's point of view, not from the from the business point of view, not from the owner point of view. Example, as a businessman, as a owner of the company, I introduce 1 lakh into my business, right? So business assets are 1 lakh rupees, that is cash. And business liability, that is capital, that is also 1 lakh rupees. So business considered as a different entity and the owner is considered as a different entity. If you are going for insurance of the company, it should be in the name of the business, not in the name of the owner, because insurance should be named in the business forms, in the business name, right? Second one is money measurement principle. According to this principle, events can be measured in money terms. Events should be measured in common money terms, either in the terms of rupee or in the terms of dollar, as we are following in the organization, right? Say I purchased 70 tons of raw material for 20 lakh rupees cash, so it should be in the monetary terms. There are two limitations of it. One limitation is that human resources are ignored, so all those things which cannot be monetary measured, they are ignored in that. as well as this is the value of money is considered as static. It doesn't change actually, but is considered static. So this is one of the limitation which is there in this principle. Third principle is accounting period principle. Very simple principle. According to the accounting period principle, life of enterprises is broken into a smaller period so that performance can be measured. Life of business is broken into smaller period to evaluate performance. Actually, we know that there is one assumption that business is going concern entity, business will never closed, right? Now, this is basically on it. Yes, business is for full lifetime, but is divided into a smaller period. That is why accounting period principle is there. That in India, we are following the concept of accounting period that starts from 1st April to 31st of March of next year. Say, it starts from 1st April 2020, it will end it on 2021. Calendar year is 1st January 2020 to 31st December 2020. This is accounting period. I hope it is clear. Next one is full disclosure principle. Full disclosure principle says that there should be complete and understandable reporting on the financial statement of all the significant information related to the economic affair of entities. So all information should be disclosed. All information should be disclosed. Nothing should be hidden. Say, if it is beyond the legal point of view, still that should be disclosed, right? So disclosure of material information will be result in the better understanding. This is the concept, right? Example, say if there is low turnover, low sales, it should be disclosed why there is a low sale. I hope it is clear, right? Similarly, next one is material principle. What material principle is? An item should be regarded as material if there is a reason to believe that knowledge of it would influence the decision of an informed investor. So all material information or item or an event should brought into notice of investor. Now it is question mark which information is material, which information is not material. Say for an example, for a company with the turnover of which, the sale of which is say 1 lakh rupee, for that company if there is a repair of 90,000 rupees, that is material information. But for the company where the turnover or sale is more than 15 crore, more than 20 crore, in that company, this small amount of 90,000 repair, that does not that much material, right? So it is subject to verification, which one is material information, which one is not material information. After discussing that, we are discussing on next type of concept, that is prudence concept. It is also known as prudence principle. What prudence principle says? Prudence is also the another name is conservatism principle. Conservatism principle. What principle says? Do not anticipate a profit, but provide all possible losses. Don't anticipate profits, but provide for all possible losses. Say, it is always prudence. What the prudence means, it means that intelligence. There is intelligence in that thing only if you don't anticipate future profits, because every business is there for earning a profits only, but you need not to anticipate that. But yes, if you are anticipating losses, you should record in the books of account. Example, uh, if you are anticipating that the value of my closing stock will decrease in future, the market value is less, it should be recorded at the market value, not at the purchasing value, right? uh, there is one limitation of it also. I am accepting that limitation. What that limitation is, that certain time people take undue advantage of it, and they try to maintain a secret reserve. And when you create the secret reserve, it means you are not depicting the true picture of a business. So maybe people take advantage of that, but still, as per the information, you should not anticipate profit. You should anticipate only losses, and books of account should be prepared as per it only. Seventh principle is cost principle, which is known as historical cost principle also. As per this principle, the books of account should be, or you can say that an asset should be recorded. An asset should be recorded in books of account as per price paid for it, not as per the market value of it. Example, I purchase machinery for 1 lakh rupees, should be recorded in the books of account for 1 lakh only, not as the, if say market value of it after 1 year, say it is 20 lakh, or say it is 20 lakh is too high, say it is 1,50,000, then it should not be recorded at 1,50,000, should be at 1 lakh rupees. But yes, if there is depreciation on that depreciation or reduction in the value of asset should be reduced in that. Say 1 lakh minus depreciation of 5,000, 95,000 is the value of the machinery. So it should be recorded at historical cost, not at the market value. Right? Right. Next principle is matching principle, which is also known as matching concept. What matching principle is? It is based on accounting period concept. In an accounting period, all revenue are matched with expenses of it. Expenses of that accounting period. Right? In order to know the profit, say, in order to determine correct P&L, profit and loss, right? Say in an year from 1st April 2019 to 31st of March 2020, I spended approximately 1 lakh as an expenditure, or my revenue was 1,30,000. So 30,000 is the profit. So that should be done for the accounting period. See, it's also important that all the adjustments should be made, like adjustments for outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, accrued income, unearned liability, or unearned incomes. These all treatments should be done. This is important here, right? What these type of adjustments are, we'll discuss on that. Next principle is dual aspect or duality principle. According to this principle, every transaction entered by enterprises has two aspects. One is debit, another one is credit, and which equates debit and credit. So every transaction has two aspects. Debit and credit. So that is why debit is equal to credit. Example, say I purchase 1 lakh assets on credit from Ram. So assets are equal to liabilities. What is that liability? Because on purchase on credit, so it becomes creditor. So assets is 1 lakh, which is equal to liability, that is also 1 lakh. So there is one debit side, another one is credit side. So assets are equal to liability, right? There is one accounting equation which is asset is equal to owner's equity plus claim of outsider, which is also known as accounting equation, which is based on that. So assets are equal to capital plus liability. There is one accounting, it is known as accounting equation. So that is based on dual aspect, right? Now we are coming on second last principle, that is revenue recognition concept. Revenue recognition concept we already discussed also, right? What is that concept? Revenue is considered to have been realized when a transaction has been entered into, an obligation to receive the amount has been established. So recognizing revenue and receipt of an amount are two separate aspects, right? So what revenue recognition concept is? Revenue is considered to have been realized when a transaction has been entered into and the obligation to receive the amount has been established. We'll try to understand with the help of examples actually. Suppose an enterprise has received an advance in January 2017 for the sales to be made in March, say August 2017. So revenue should be recognized in August 2017 only, not in January. Why? Because a revenue is considered to be recognized when the transaction has been entered into, and the transaction will be entered into in August, not in January. I hope it is clear. So revenue should be recognized when the transaction is entered into, right? An obligation to receive the amount has been established. So advance received should not be recorded at the time when the advance is received. It should be recorded at the time when the transaction takes place. Last concept is verifiable objective concept. It holds that accounting should be free from bias. All transactions should be evidenced and supported by documents. All transactions should be evidenced and supported by documents. So all the transactions should be having a certain evidence for it, and they should be recorded or supported by the documents. Example, cash memo should be there, debit note should be there, credit note should be there, invoice should be there, sale bill should be there. So when you are buying anything, you should get the cash memo for it. When you are selling anything, invoice bill should be generated. So all these things should be taken care of when you are preparing the transaction or when you are preparing the books of account. Every transaction should be supported by the verifiable documents so that auditing can be done. So this is required for auditing purpose. I hope all the accounting principles which contains accounting concepts and accounting conventions are clear to you. Next time we will be discussing on accounting standards, concept of accounting standards and more on it. Right? Till then, take care of yourself. Thank you.